What's up, guys? Today is something a little different than what I usually do. I'm making a tutorial for you guys on how to make a galaxy. It's going to be really relaxing, chill, simple. I'm going to show you guys how it's done. If you liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. You know the routine by now. If you guys liked it, I can do a series for it, showing you guys different things other than galaxies, obviously. But I hope you guys enjoy. Adios. So the first thing you want to add to your galaxy are planets. Here I'm doing 3, actually I'm doing 2, and then I'm doing a moon. The smaller one's going to be the moon for the planet that I'm messing with right now. And it always takes me a while to figure out where I want to position my planets and moons and stuff, just because I want it filling in the right spots. But it's all up to you when you're making it, where you want your stuff. And then you start by outlining each of your planets so you know where they're at. And then I'm going to start with the moon, and I'm just going to layer it in black and then put some white little dots in there that we're going to texture in with some magazine paper. This is the savior of spray painting. Crinkle up some magazine or newspaper, and then you put it over top and you lightly scrape across the front or the top of it to texture your moon or planet or whatever you want to use. You'll see me doing this a lot. It's a great way to add some texture to your things, which is kind of hard to do with spray paint by itself. So now on this planet, I decided that I want it to be like a reddish orange planet, and I'm gonna put some red. I'm gonna layer underneath it with some orange. I'm just gonna keep layering it with colors until I'm happy with it. And I think I come in with a purple on top, and I just kind of throw it on. You can either layer the colors, or you can just toss in whatever colors you want. It'll look cool almost no matter what you do, unless you do like yellow and brown or something like that. I don't know how you can mess it up. I'm gonna come again with some magazine paper. I'm gonna scrape across it, giving it some texture. There's different ways you can use your fingers to pat down the magazine paper. There I just scrape across it. You'll see later that I do a more even spread, so you get a different looking type of texture. The more you do it, the more you'll figure out how to use the magazine paper. So that planet's done for now. I'm gonna give it some shadows. You need to know where your light source is coming from. So my light source is coming in from the bottom right, and it's coming up through, so that the back part of that planet is going to have a shadow on it. So now I'm moving on to my next planet, and I want it to be blue, but this time I'm not going to put the paints on top of each other. I'm just going to layer them, just kind of throw it out wherever I want. And you'll see when I texture it with the magazine paper that I do it a little differently. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell or not, but once I layer all these, I take some white and I take some black, and then where the light source is coming is where I put white, and then I'm gonna put my shadows in, and come back again with the magazine paper and texture this baby up, make him look all nice and real, or as realistic as you can. And this time I go over the whole thing evenly, so it adds a different type of texture. Instead of having those lines across, the whole thing is just textured. And I really like the look of this one. Sometimes I come back again if I'm not completely happy with it. And then you always need to add your shadows after you do your planet, because if you don't, then it doesn't look 3D at all, and you want a 3D planet, so you got to go back and add your shadows. You can do as little or as much shadows as you want, but you need to at least have some sort of shadow. So now I decided that I want a nebula to be in here dividing the planets. My plan here is to have a green side and then to have a orange/red side. respective to the planets that are there right now. And right now I'm layering the paint just so it stays wet, and so when I texture it, that it actually gets textured. You can't texture dry paint, so you have to make sure that it's wet. Now I'm going to come over now with some black paint very soon. There we go. I'm going to add some black paint onto it, and this is what you want to texture so the underlying colors show through once you texture it. You're basically just removing some of the black paint. You get this really cool texture with magazine paper. If you do this with newspaper, it doesn't look as sharp and you know. I really like how it looks. So I'm gonna come through and cover up all of my planets, and I'm just gonna put a black background. Black is always the shiniest, so if you're trying to get a shiny background, black is the way to go. You can always add colors in later, like I do, but most of the time I just start with a black background and then I go from there, especially for galaxies. So now I'm gonna add just a green mist over top the green side. I'm gonna come in with the orange or red, whatever you want to call it. I'm not putting it on very heavy, just enough so you can see it, and then I outline all of the planets. This leads into another section. You shouldn't spray paint while it's thunderstorming outside. That sounds like common sense, but apparently it wasn't common sense enough for me. Last, you add in all your stars, and once you do that, you're done. I like to really jam-pack my stars. You spray paint white on your fingers. You should be wearing gloves, but I don't have any, so I wasn't wearing any. You put it on your fingers, and then you just flick onto the painting. It looks really easy, and it gives it a really strong effect. It fixes a lot of your mistakes that you make, and it just brings the painting together. If you can see down at the bottom, I have some finger smudges from me trying to catch my painting when it was falling, but it is what it is. The painting turned out really good, and I'll show you guys the finished product right here. If you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe, comment down below telling me if you guys want to see more tutorials like this, doing other things other than galaxies, obviously. And I hope you guys have a great day. Adios.